What's up, crew? I can tell you clicked on this because it's a very clickbaity headline, and the only reason I can pretend to be even remotely an expert is because I've done this completely the wrong way and then the right way. So look no further. Let me try spell it out for you and then show you the solution. So quite often what happens is someone's got a bee in their bonnet, and it might be an overthinky thing, it might be a past thing that's come up again because we didn't resolve it another time, and you need to have a tough conversation with your partner. I'm going to talk later about other ways that you might have to have a difficult conversation with a family member, but let's start with partner. So partner, someone has a bee in their bonnet, needs to speak to the other one. Particularly women have a higher degree of agreeableness, right? Of trait agreeableness. And that is so that you don't throw children off a bridge, okay? That's exactly why women have more agreeableness. It's not social conditioning, it's biological. It's because babies, and not kill them because they're annoying, yeah? So men are just slightly more jerks across the board. There you go. So because particularly women are more agreeable, I'm highly codependent as well, so I'm very agreeable and don't like to upset people, don't like to make waves, don't like to make people feel bad. So it can be hard to have a tough conversation when you don't want to make the other person feel bad, or whenever you do have a tough conversation, it turns into an argument. So you try not to, but then you've got this bee in your bonnet and it's bothering you, and you need to talk to your partner about it, and it's driving you crazy, right? So the way that I have seen it and done it is like, you make a little offhand comment, probably like you can't take it anymore, and you're like, yeah, because of what you said yesterday. And then that just hangs in the air and everyone goes, and it's that fight or flight is triggered. That's come on, right? And it's like, what are you talking about? Oh no, just what you said yesterday. And it's like, all right, what did I fucking say yesterday? You know, it's like, well, come on, out with it. And you're already off to a bad start, yeah? The person with the bee in their bonnet's made a little offhanded, maybe a joke, like, oh, you know, if you weren't such a dickhead, and it's like, what's going on? What's this about? Like, we were in a good mood a second ago, and now it's like, you know, the defenses are up. And it's, the way that I see that is like, that's the jab to set up the power hand. It's like, you throw a little jab at them, and then they're off, and then you're like, well, they're already upset, I may as well make a scene now, right? And that's the very innate and natural way to make a scene, is to like fuck up the mood a little bit and then really fuck it up. Incorrect. That is why you fight and break up all the time and hate each other and not get anywhere, because once the defenses are up, the prefrontal cortex shuts down and you're in complete lizard brain, right? And it's just fight or flight, anger, defending. So it's like, can you just put the toilet seat down? Like, it really feels disgusting to me. And you're like, why don't you put it up? You know, it becomes this like tit for tat. We call it Who's the Bad Guy in one of the books that I'm reading. Another one of my videos is about the demon dialogues, and Who's the Bad Guy is one of the demon dialogues. Look, it's raining, so I'm going to quickly tell you the correct way to do it. The correct way to get the bee out of your bonnet is to go, hey, I'm having some feelings. When would be a good time? Is now a good time? When would be a good time? And that gives the other person a chance to go, no, I'm very tired, I'm very shitty, now's not a good time. Or let me just get myself into a mood where I can be not triggered and not defend myself and just fucking listen to you. So, you know, whatever it takes to get you back to zero, because if you're off and then some bullshit comes in, you're just going to lose it, yeah? That's what goes wrong. Is you're starting off and then there's getting hammered and you just, get away from it. You know, it becomes, I'm being attacked and I need to defend myself, right? That's just an innate thing in us, right? Fight or flight. So is now a good time? The other thing is when you're prepared for it and you're like, okay, this might be some bullshit, and you're like able to bring yourself down, you're able to see when you're getting off. So like, you're fine, not too much. Just give me another second. I need to take another few breaths. Okay, so toilet seat, yep, go on. And it's like, yeah, it just really reminds me of my childhood when people were disrespectful to me, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, that sucks, dude, come here. Like, it's much easier to go, oh, that sucks, dude, come here, when you're cool, right? So we need to create a safe space for both people, for the person who's listening and the person who's trying to share, right? Because if the sharer doesn't feel safe, they're not going to share. And if the listener doesn't feel safe, they're going to defend themselves and not listen properly and not give you that validation that you need. So yeah, and I've done it wrong on both sides of the coin, and I'm only just getting it, and I probably still fuck it up a few more times. So it's just a very average way of doing things. Now, the other example I was going to use is, a lot of homeless people probably had, fell out with family members, and otherwise they wouldn't be homeless. It's like, I could go stay with my parents, and then until I get back on my feet. And it's like, they did drugs too many times, they broke their parents' heart too many times, and they haven't been able to apologize in a constructive way. And I'm sure that it's been attempted. You tried to go and sit down and go, look, I'm really sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then it's a fight, and then you leave, and then you got nowhere to go, and you're homeless, right? And it's like, if you got to sit down with a parent and go, look, I know I've caused you pain and suffering, like, you got to expect the kickback. So it's like, just give me a second, I need to get back to zero so I can let you finish, so we can forgive each other, so I have a place to live until I get back on my feet, this kind of thing. So with family members as well, it's like deeply triggering. Like, you've probably been with your partner for 2-3 years trying to have a tough conversation, and your parents or your siblings, like, you've known them for 15, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and that's hard, So would recommend, is now a good time, and then bringing yourself to a calmness if you're receiving it, and then from the calmness, if you, just give me a sec, I'm a bit overwhelmed. Just let me take a few breaths, and then I can let you finish, right? Because from here and then trying to listen, it's not, it's not a thing. Anyway, I love you guys. Please message me about it, all right? Full consent. Consent is now a good time. Peace.